Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wesley Students Podcast. My name is Ford, and I am joined here with...
I'm Clara. I'm Lina.
I'm Cord.
And I'm Bobby.
And I'm Michaela, and I am so glad that you guys are joining us tonight. Today was our second work day, and so I just have a few questions for you to get us started. I want to know, what was the best part of today? What was your favorite part?
Clara, you want to go?
My favorite part was when we were able to go to the house, and when we started making the stairs, and the lady came outside and gave us popsicles, and she just talked with us for a little bit, and she was super welcoming, and it was really nice getting to know who we were working for.
Awesome. Anybody else?
My favorite part was probably when we got back after working, and I got to hang out with some of the guys, and we sort of joked around a little bit. No pranks, though. We did no pranks.
Of course, no pranks.
My favorite part was when we got ice cream after. That was very refreshing after a long day.
Yes.
Our lady's like a dog breeder, so she had a bunch of puppies.
Whoa.
And her daughter comes out just with a bunch of puppies in her arms and hands them out to us when we're sitting down. It's really fun.
You guys hit like the site jackpot. That's awesome.
I wish I got to do that.
Can I request puppies next year? Or that's awesome.
My favorite part was probably using the saw to cut out the stairs
Yeah.
until it decided to start smoking in my hand.
Yeah, you did awesome at that today. I was amazed every single time. I feel like I sometimes feel a little nervous with power tools. Like, I know how to use them, but I don't really prefer it. Lina was like jumping in there. She knew all the safety features. She cut out most of the pieces we needed today, and it was awesome. On the flip side, what was the hardest part of today?
The hardest part was definitely getting the stairs to be level with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I
Yeah,
can't remember what
I
they're
don't
called
forgot
either,
what it's
and I'm
called,
scared I'll call them the wrong thing. So,
Of the stairs.
The stringer?
the
Yeah,
stringer. Yes.
Good one.
Yes. Anybody else?
The hardest part for me was mixing the concrete. I hate doing that. It's just so tedious.
Did you
And then
guys-
the ground around us was all wet because the hose had a leak.
Yeah.
And so I got mud all over myself when trying to mix the concrete.
Were you guys mixing the concrete like in the hole around the post, or were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, when you get into high school, we can take you to Guatemala, and that mixing concrete is next level. But we'll talk about that another
I'm
time.
looking forward to Guatemala now.
Oh yeah, it is a lot of mixing concrete. Okay. Anybody else? Different hard part?
Where do you want to go?
Sure.
Oh, you go.
No, you know you.
Yes, sir. When we first got to the site, I think something happened overnight while we were gone, and the frame, just the start of the frame that we had set up, all the screws were torn out and it was kind of broken. I don't know if the guy there like tripped on it or something like that,
Oh.
but it was kind of hard putting everything back together. Had to rebalance the concrete, all that, or the concrete slabs.
Yeah. Were you on Miss Ellen's site today?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think what she was talking about earlier.
She was sharing earlier, just to share with everyone else, how she was really proud of you guys for having such a good attitude, because it seemed like even though you could have been very disappointed by that and like been set back even more, you all had a really good attitude and just got after it and fixed it, made it right, and so that was really awesome. But I can totally see how that would be very hard.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Cord?
So, in the night, all of our stringers had fallen over, so we had to put those back in place. But then we realized, like, our support beams, they're supposed to go in a place where she had, like, a little handle in the door. So we had to take that out before we could do anything else.
Oh,
That
okay.
was kind of hard.
Some problem solving for sure. Anybody else have anything? Or okay. I would also like to know, throughout this week, I'm sure that you guys came on this trip with some friends, but you've probably made a few more along the way, whether that be on our work sites or within our groups, within our work groups, or maybe even with the staff here. And so I would like to know, how have you gotten to know someone this week or specifically today?
I just played
Scoop.
Taco
There you go.
Cat Goat Cheese Pizza with a few people, and it sounds like a really weird game, but it's really fun. and I got to know one of the girls who I'm working with through that. And then we played music on our bus, and so all of us were like singing along, and so everybody was like coming together and just having fun on the way there and back. So that was fun.
Awesome.
I got to know Ian pretty well. We are in the same work group together. I had not met him before this trip, but we had a good time working and playing around outside of the work.
But of course, no pranks.
No pranks?
No pranks
No
whatsoever.
pranks. No
Absolutely
pranks.
not.
Awesome.
This is about creating like new. Wait, what was it? What was the question again? Sorry.
Just getting to know people.
Getting to know people.
Mhm.
I met some new guys on this trip. Ryan, he's this pretty tall dude. I've been playing basketball with him. Him, Ian. I've gotten to know Braden, who's come on a couple retreats before this. Got to know him a lot better. But yeah, I got to know just a lot of people. I got a lot closer playing basketball because there's not much else to do here than play basketball. So that was really cool.
And
That
it's
was really
amazing
fun.
to me that you guys still play basketball even after working all day.
Yeah.
Who is taller, you or Ryan?
I think it's me. Just
It's
a
him.
little bit.
It's him.
not that much, but
Okay.
it's just a little
Okay.
bit.
We'll check later.
He can't make a layup though, which is good for me.
Okay. Anybody else want to share how they got to know someone today?
Yeah, I think I will. Just everybody at the work site, working for a long time with a lot of people, you kind of have to get to know them so you can work well together.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like Clara said, playing music on the bus, we just got to like know more people because we were all like singing and just like having fun together.
Yes, definitely. That's always nice because it's something that you share in common, even if you don't always have a lot in common. And it's kind of like just, you can just be silly. And if everybody's silly, then we have nothing to be embarrassed about, right? I would like to know when was a time when you felt God's presence today? Was there a specific moment or a time when you just felt the presence of God more?
When we all went inside of the homeowner's house, we just all like sat down. We were talking to her, and she was telling us like a bunch of stuff about her grandchildren, and it was just really sweet.
That is sweet, definitely.
Well, to me, the obvious answer would be Holy Communion,
Absolutely.
where God is literally present in the bread and the wine.
Awesome.
And also the liturgy Aaron did beforehand was quite beautiful.
Awesome.
I'd say the morning watch at the start of the day was the time I felt most present with God, just because that's what it's for. You're having alone time with God. So
I felt the presence of God. Me and Frazier went on a run this morning, and it was so pretty because we woke up really early, and so we got to see the sunrise, and you could just feel God present because it was super foggy, but like the only thing you could see was through the trees, and the sunrise was the only thing that wasn't foggy, and so it just felt really nice.
Awesome.
I really felt God's presence today when I just decided to have a moment where I could just talk with God and pray, and it just felt like He was sitting right beside me.
I love that. That's awesome. I love that all the things you guys shared, whether it be, like, we're out of our element a little bit here. We're not in our own homes. We're not necessarily sticking to the same schedule we usually would. But I love that God shows up for us in the midst of times when we're just kind of out of our routine. And He also shows up for us in kind of more routine things or more set things. Like, we're able to see Him in every situation. So I love the fact that we've been here kind of out of the norm, but then there are things like a liturgy helps us to kind of have something when we don't know what to pray, or we want to follow a specific thing or ask God about specific things. We're able to use that in more of a routine way. So it's beautiful to me that we can see Him in every situation, right? So, and sometimes when it's hard for some of us to see Him one way, it's easier for Him to see us to see Him in others. Okay, one last question, and then we're going to wrap it up. How do you hope for God to work through you this week? I know we're kind of halfway through the week, and maybe you came into this trip feeling like, hey, my goal this week is to connect with God more. My goal this week is to connect with other people more, grow in my faith. I would love to know what you're hoping and how you're hoping to see God working through you this week.
I really feel that I haven't really been reading the Bible all that much, so I really want to start reading it more and more.
Okay. Awesome.
during our work sites and everything, the girls that we're with, I think that it'd be nice to see God like through our relationships that we're building with one another, and the homeowner and how she reacts to our presence, and so I think that's
Awesome.
Well, obviously, we want God to work through us in the actual work that we do, at the construction
Of
sites and
course.
stuff, all to the glory of Him, but also in just our personal lives that hopefully we could be examples to other people of what a redeemed life really looks like.
Of course. What do you feel like that looks like, if I might ask?
Well, there's a lot to it, about 600 different commandments that
Yeah.
we're supposed to try to follow, but it looks in essence, like loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and loving your neighbor as yourself. And loving entails a lot of things. It entails honesty. It entails charity. You don't want to be harsh with people.
I think,
All sorts of things. Hard
yeah.
to really put your finger
Of
on.
course, but I think that was very well said, and I think that's definitely a good goal and a good ask for God to move through you this week in that way. Very good. Anybody else?
I just wanted to make the most of the last middle school trip I'd ever be going on, because we're going into high school and no more trips like this anymore. So wanted to,
Yeah, just different trips, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Good answer.
one last time to get in peaceful mountains.
Yes.
One last time.
And then you get to go on fall retreat with different peaceful mountains, right?
Mm.
So that's good.
Where did we go for the fall retreat in high school?
Oh, I should know off the top of my head, but now I'm drawing a blank.
It's
I'll remember later and I'll tell you.
I never know where we go anyway. I just kind of show up.
I know where we are right now. I'll remember in a minute.
Wait, so do we get to go to Guatemala in 9th grade?
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
okay.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Guatemala.
Just real quick, just to bring us back. Did anybody else want to share anything about how they hope for God to work through them this week? Maybe everybody already kind of shared what they wanted to. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the podcast. I'm
Thank
so
you so much.
thankful that
Thanks
you're
for inviting
here
us.
and you all had such awesome
to be here.
answers.
Really enjoyed it.
Of course, of course. I feel like we're on a talk show host right now.
I mean, we are.
We pretty much
Gonna
are.
go in front of a couple people.
Yeah.
We should do like a long form one of these.
Okay. Yeah, we will eventually. And I'm sure all of your parents appreciate hearing from you. So everybody can catch the next one tomorrow. And yeah, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.